There are various ways to adapt classrooms to best suit students with disabilities. The primary ways of doing so include adjusting size, color, pacing, and modality of things usually used every day within the classroom. In terms of size, projectors are regularly used within teaching, but sometimes there's just too much information shown on the screen, so it's hard to focus on what's important or it's hard to see in general. To prevent this, try to keep projections how you would keep PowerPoint slides for presentations. This would mean having no more than 25 words on a screen at once, bolding what is important, limiting what is said, and keeping the font big enough to be read easily from the back of the classroom. It may also be helpful to have printouts of the notes specifically for the students with disabilities so that they're easier to see and easier to focus on. Next is color. Color can be incorporated into practically every aspect of teaching. Take this board, for example. It would be perfect to have in a classroom because it's not too distracting, it has large print, and it's spaced out enough so that it's easy to see and focus on. This specific board shows music notes and the corresponding letters in a color-coded fashion. So if the students learn to correlate these colors to the letters, remembering may be a little bit easier. The color kind of reinforces the learning process in a way. So within your classroom, you might be able to consistently keep these notes in these colors for your music sheets and class activities, but because this may take a lot of time, you might want to prompt students to color them in themselves during class time or as homework if it's helpful for them. Next is pacing. All people learn and move at different paces, and sometimes it can be difficult to find a middle ground. Playing music at specific paces can also be tricky for some at first. If students are having a hard time keeping up with the changing of sheet music during a song, have their part start at the second line of the next page of music so that they have enough time to transition. Do this until they get used to switching gears quickly. Then switch it back to where the student can follow the music even while having to flip the page. Last is modality. Just like everyone moves at a different pace, everyone also learns in a different style. Some do best with visual aids, some with auditory input, and others with kinesthetic activities. To ensure that everyone obtains the best education possible, it's important to incorporate a variety of learning styles. One example of this would be when first introducing instruments to students, to have a physical example for them to hold and touch and pass around the classroom. This way they can get comfortable with it. At the end of each introduction statement of the instrument, you can play it as an example, or maybe find a clip of others playing it from the internet. This way, people can hear what the instrument actually sounds like and how the sound differs from other instruments. This would be especially helpful when it comes to brass instruments. So those are the 4 different ways that you can adapt your classroom.